Well, Anthony Gordon is a Newcastle United player. It's one that split the fan base, and I can understand why. After giving it some thought, analysing different things, look, it's a positive. It is. We've lost Chris Wood. We've obviously got two quality operators in Isak and Wilson up top. I said from the summer we needed another winger in the squad to drive competition for places and add a bit of extra strength and depth. Gordon brings that, and he fits the mould into what Eddie Howe wants and the way Newcastle United play under Eddie Howe. He's a grafter, does the defensive dirty work as well as getting up the field as well. Adds competition for places. He's better than Jacob Murphy. He's only 21 years old. Dan Ashworth's highlighted him, and considering the quality Newcastle have brought in since the takeover, I think they get the benefit of the doubt on this one. Look, we're going to support him. We've supported plenty worse in the black and white over the years, so he gets our full support when he's on the pitch for us, and hopefully there are good things to come from him. Young, English, so he ticks a lot of boxes, and hopefully we can get the best out of him. Yes, you can get carried away with price tags, but these days in football, price tags are pretty irrelevant. So fingers crossed he can do the business for us.
Yes, hello everyone, me and Ferdinand here. Ferdinand's not too interested in the signing. He just wants to go out and walk because we're in the Pennines at the minute. But yeah, Anthony Gordon has signed. It massively improves the squad. I do agree. I've done a video the other day and said, look, does he improve the first 11? That's for debate. But hopefully it means that Joe Linton can start playing in centre midfield, and it gives Alan saint-maximin competition. I also think ESM could also be used as a third choice striker once Gordon has signed as well. But going on Gordon, look, I think his head was turned last summer when Chelsea came in for him, and we were in for him, but it was predominantly Chelsea, and now we've come in, and look, things are really bad. Everton need the cash, so it's difficult for him. He's a local lad. He'll want to help his boyhood club. I don't think he's being on strike at all. I think that's just a media talk. But, you know, you're going to get a lad. He's a twat, as I call him, and he'll be our twat, and we'll probably grow to love that. You know, the shithousery is what you call it, because Bruno does it every time he has a throw-in, and Jacob Murphy's done it as well. So I think we'll love it, and I think he will bring competition for places. And look how Eddie Howe's improved most of the squad. No doubt you can improve Gordon, make him maybe have an England call-up sometime soon in the next 12 months. But happy-ish with the signing. I think the fee's a little bit steep, but you're paying for the English tax, aren't you? But it improves the squad, and we need that because we need competition for places, in particular off the bench.
Welcome to Newcastle United, Anthony Gordon. Now, I have to be honest, he wasn't my first choice in January, but the more I think about it, it's more for the long-term vision of Newcastle United. My ideal signing was Hakim Ziyech. I thought he was ready-made, had a fantastic World Cup, and I thought he was more what we needed right now to take us to the Champions League places and keep us in the Champions League places, if you like. But with Anthony Gordon, look, his stats will say that he's definitely not worth 40, 45 million pounds, whatever Newcastle end up paying for him. But he is 21 years old. He is going to be at Newcastle for a long time if everything goes according to plan. He's quick, he's energetic, he's an out-and-out winger, and he can drive with the ball and take us up the park. And, you know, Alan saint-maximin does that, and they are very, very different in terms of how they do that. Obviously with ASM, in terms of the skill, Anthony Gordon is more direct in that sense. But he's a workhorse, he works hard, a bit like Almiron. But does he get into this Newcastle United team right now? Probably not, no. But I'm going to give Lee Law a little bit of credit. He's better than Jacob Murphy. And if you have a better option off the bench, Newcastle have got a better chance of, you know, winning more games or making a difference from the substitute bench, which we've mentioned. So, on the whole, I think it's not a bad signing. Certainly one for the future, as I've mentioned. But I definitely think that Newcastle will see this as somebody that he will be in our starting 11 in years to come, and hopefully in European competitions, i.e. the Champions League. But look, it is going to be interesting to see how it gets on. I'm sure more Everton fans right now will be thinking, yeah, it's a good deal. But I also think it's a good deal for Newcastle. Chelsea wanted to pay £60 million in the summer. Newcastle paying 40 right now, and it could be as high as 45. Let's see what happens.
So, Anthony Gordon has just signed for Newcastle United on a 4.5-year deal for £45 million. Do I think it's a good signing? Listen, I definitely don't think it's value for money. As people say, if he wasn't from England and was Antonio Gordono, it's not £45 million, is it? But you're paying for what you're getting. Premier League experience, I wouldn't have paid £45 million personally. But the one most important thing is that we trust in Ashworth and we trust in Eddie Howe, and they know exactly what they're doing. Have they got a transfer wrong so far? No, so let's trust them. They're paid to do that. They're professionals in their field. And Newcastle are assembling the top man in each position, or top person in each position for each job off the pitch. So I think we've just got to trust in them. On Gordon, I think he's a very good player off the ball defensively, so he'll obviously fit into Eddie Howe's system. Does he upgrade the first 11? Not necessarily. I'd like to see Saint-Maximin start on the left and Miggy on the right, and I think he wouldn't trump them necessarily yet, but of course he's only 21. He's got plenty of time to grow, plenty of time to improve.
What do I think of this signing? Honestly, I have no negativity towards it just yet. I think Eddie Howe has afforded more than several opportunities to not only get the best out of him, but if it ends up being a bad decision, I'm sure there'll be lots of people out there saying, "Oh, we told you so, we told you so." But I absolutely back Eddie Howe. I back the backroom staff, and I think it could prove to be a real good bit of business. His defensive stats look very similar to Miggy. You look at the strength and depth that we have at the moment. Yes, we've got Isak to bring on. Yes, we've got Maximin to bring on. But after that, you look at Jacob Murphy, Ryan Fraser, etc. No disrespect to these players. We need to strengthen there. And I think Anthony Gordon is definitely a step up from Jacob Murphy. Regardless of the fee. The fees are what they are these days. English football fees have gone crazy. Global football fees have gone crazy. Anthony Gordon turns 22 at the end of February. He's an English prospect. There is potential of always an overinflated price. But only time will tell with regards to this being good or bad business. And as I said, Eddie Howe has not put a foot wrong. You look at the development that he's brought on with the players that we have. Joe Linton, who we all wrote off, Miggy Almiron, who we're all beginning to write off. Those two alone they've been our best two players over the last 2 seasons, bar the newbies that we brought in, the likes of Kieran Trippier, etc. And having people like Bruno Guimaraes, Isak, Maxi, Callum Wilson playing around you, it's brought people like Sean Longstaff on. So I have absolutely no doubts that Eddie Howe will look to get the best out of Anthony Gordon.
So the Anthony Gordon link from the start caused a bit of division in the fan base. A lot of fans not completely sold, not convinced that he's the right player for us at this time. I think that people have been a bit concerned about the attitude issues, the off-field antics maybe. And of course, when we did play Everton earlier in the season, he had a bit of a kick out at a couple of our players, didn't he? So I don't think that's gone down too well with some of our fans. I think his stats this season have been underwhelming for a player with such big potential. He's on 3 goals, no assists, and he does like to pick up a booking. I think he's on 6 at the moment, season to date. From a personal point of view, I'm sort of for the move. I think he's young, he's full of potential, very quick. I think he seems like an Eddie Howe kind of player, and I do think that we can probably get a tune out of him. I think under the right leadership, under the right management, there is a player in there, and we could reap the rewards of a player who will only get better. So at the age of 21, I do think it's a good investment for the future. I do think we've overpaid a little bit at 40 million, and it could potentially rise to 45. But that's English tax. That's what you expect these days. A player who has come through the ranks somewhere, you add that English tax on,